Hey guys, just a real quick disclaimer before you guys start watching part 1 or 2 of this. I'll put this disclaimer on both of the videos, but basically I forgot to pull the curtains when we were filming. I know it's like such a simple thing, but it made such a huge impact on the video because the light behind us, the sun, the natural sun, was moving constantly that day for some reason. And so the lighting changes like every 5 seconds. So there's going to be spots that are a little more brown, that are a little too dark blue. There's going to be some totally normal ones. So just, if your eyes can bear with it, the next time I will remember the curtains. But yeah, so if the colors are constantly changing, that is why. I am sorry, but I just want to throw this disclaimer in there. Otherwise, hopefully content-wise, you guys enjoy. And onto the content. Good evening, Paris Squad. So today's Let's Talk is an interview with Wendy Stanton-Phillips. And I'm excited because I haven't done an in-person interview yet, and it should be fun. So let's talk, guys. All right, guys. Good afternoon. Let's talk with Wendy Stanton-Phillips. She is a sensitive psychic, and there's lots to learn. So I wanted to introduce you two ways.
Okay.
Because professionally, you're like highly sensitive, and you have psychic abilities. Mm-hmm. So there's that aspect, and then you have like this whole thing in the para community, right? Mm-hmm. You did. Let's see, you're the co-founder of Paranormal group, Ghost Girls Paranormal.
Yep.
Case manager for Northwest Paranormal.
Yep.
You've done consults for other local groups.
Oh, yeah.
Been on para podcasts.
Oh, yeah, we had one for a while.
You had one. Mm-hmm. You were on Paranormal Crossing, your TV show, mm-hmm. and the TV show Ghost Adventures.
Yep.
Which is what we're talking about today, is her experience on Ghost Adventures. She's a busy girl, and she's gifted. That's her professional intro. But there's more to it than that. So on a personal level, this is my mommy.
I'm blessed.
Yeah, I'm blessed. She's technically not, she's not my...
I didn't get to give birth to her, but I got her.
She's not my egg donor. But she's pretty much the closest thing I've ever had to a mom figure.
Yep, and I wouldn't trade her.
And so it's weird. It's like, I didn't know her like a year ago.
I was sent to you.
Yeah, and then so we kind of talked a couple times on Instagram, and then Ghost Conference last year happened, and she kind of just hunted me down and claimed me at Ghost Conference. She told me about a personal dream she had. It's kind of just between us right now, but it kind of was like, I'm adopting you, you're mine, and I'm keeping you.
Sorry you're stuck with me.
Yeah, I was going to say she's stuck with me, now she's stuck with me. So on a professional level, she's done it all, but she's extra special. She's my mommy now. So yeah. And then setup wise, I feel like because she's like my mom, I wanted to do, like she calls it mimosas with mom. I didn't want to do like the mic setup where it's like mic, person, Q&A stuff. That's kind of impersonal.
Yeah, we're a little more personal.
Yeah. And actually I was kind of digging this vibe a little bit. So maybe if I do other future interviews, maybe it'll be cooler just to, because I mean the series is called Let's Talk. So
yep, there you go.
I mean, let's just talk, right?
Exactly.
How did that happen? So did you apply to be on the show?
Nope.
How did they know to reach you? Like, how did that happen?
I had several, from what I've been told, several people that we know through the ghost community had let them know. Because apparently, through their channels, they were saying they're going to be out here on the West Coast for like 6 to 8 weeks.
Right.
And so I just got this phone call one day from Jeff Belanger, who I call the big guy of the paranormal community at Discovery.
Okay.
Because he's got his own show and everything, and we talked, and he asked if I'd mind. He goes, I know it's Friday, would you mind going Monday? And I'm like,
to air or to interview?
To go to the beach and do the filming.
So they didn't even do like prereqs. They just threw you in.
Yep. Huh. Because the people that had suggested me not only knew me well enough that I worked with them on many different things, so they knew to trust me.
But yeah, so they found you.
Yep. And he and I had a really nice conversation. He was a totally sweet guy. And I told him flat out, if I am asked to bake it, I won't. I'm not even going to leave my house. It's a 4-hour trip from here to there.
Right.
And I don't believe in baking this stuff. If I don't get anything, I'm going to tell him too.
Right.
All that stuff at the same time. And he flat out said, and I quote, I'm glad because we've had way too much of that in the past. We don't want that. And that made me feel really good. I'm like, okay, we're good.
So Zach had mentioned at the beginning that you had already been there before. Did you go for personal reasons or did you go for an investigation prior?
Checking the place out.
Okay.
Because there's a lot there. I mean, you and I need to go one of these days.
We do.
I actually did go back and finish taking care of business last year.
Okay, so that is, hold up, this is going to be fascinating at the end of this because...
There's like 4 or 5 hours laying on the cutting room floor that explains a lot of stuff.
Well, because I want to see if what I got matches what you got, and this is gonna be good. So, yeah, I'm excited to see how this ends. I'm really curious because I got a totally different. So here's the thing: I don't like ghost adventures. I think they're shitty how they treat spirits, and I know that Mama has a different opinion. That's cool, but I don't condone.
And they were very good. They did not misbehave with any of the spirits when I was there. Nobody did.
I was a little irritated with Aaron, but it's all right. But it'll be. I'm just saying. He made some comments that bothered me. Now I lost my train of thought.
Your train derailed.
Here's the thing, though. So they had if you watch the episode, the link will be below. But they laid out a version of events that they assumed,
and they had been told.
Well, we'll get through it.
I'm gonna be polite, but the second person that they showed up, I'm not sure if they put her back in the home or not.
Yeah, we'll get through it. I don't know, but my feeling from beginning to end, and granted, I wasn't physically there. You had way more energy.
A lot's missing.
What? And because there's stuff on the cutting floor, she says.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting to see if what I felt the entire episode actually, if it correlates with what you actually felt. So we'll
Which
get
won't surprise me if it does.
I hope it does because I was really bothered by how it ended up. So yeah, so we'll see.
Me too.
Okay, well, this will be fun. So at the beginning of the episode, ish, once I get into it, there's this letter from a chick named Mary. She writes it the night before she dies. My opinion is it's not that telling. They've written into a lot. So basically, she says in this letter, like, she's sorry that she's, not been great. She has all these flaws, and I think she stopped taking her medicine, if I remember. She wants to start taking her medication again.
Yeah, but they really didn't have anything for depression back then.
You guys, this is amazing. This is tight. I wrote this before she even.
I did, and I haven't even looked at it.
Y'all, okay. So this is what happens when two.
You should have seen me that night when it aired. I jumped up and down.
Oh,
I was. Lady was talking. I'm like, no.
Okay, so here's what happened. So then she's writing this thing, and automatically the boys are like, "Oh, was there evil? Why was she doing bad things?" Then she's talking about like the husband and her having like evil problems. Okay, so I'm getting irritated. I'm like, the chick clearly has depression. She's off her meds.
Who's not going to have depression when you're sitting out there? You don't have a television, you don't have a car, you don't have a radio, you have the sound of the ocean, and you're pretty much by yourself.
Right.
You're going to be depressed.
That's valid too. I didn't even think about that.
I mean, she couldn't just get in her car and go into town. Mm-hmm. There was no place, nothing.
Yeah,
they just had each other, and he was working a lot of times.
Yep, I didn't even think about that aspect of it. But yeah, for sure, I instantly was like, she is depressed. This chick is clearly depressed.
Yeah, she was. And what was worse is her one thing that she did, which I saw, is she would stand and look out the windows at the ocean.
I can kind of see that too.
Yeah, that's all she would do is she would just stand there, and that's what she saw, and that's what she heard 24/7. We love the sound of it, but we're not stuck there.
Yeah, it's a because we're not stuck there. It's an opposing thing.
And
we have the city all day. We're stuck in the city.
And
you're not. You got the country, but I'm in the city. So.
We can leave.
Right.
We can go. Oh, I want to go down to the beach. It's beautiful.
Right.
Or we can go. You know what? I don't want to go to the beach. I can turn on the television, the radio. She didn't have any of that.
Right. No, so totally. I'm amazed. I'm so happy that we're on the same page. So, but the boys totally, like, instantly flipped it into, like, some evil, was she bad? Did she do horrible things? Blah, blah, blah. So, I was going to ask if you noticed that being a trend. Like, if that was... So, here's the thing I noticed with Ghost Adventures. They film footage, like a dialogue between you and I, whatever.
Yep.
And then what he does is, Zach, he voiceovers at the end. Like, he voiceovers the whole show, which has to happen in editing. That has to be an afterthought. So I have to wonder, is he like that in person where he's trying to make everything evil and bad? Or is that a voiceover thing?
This is my take because I had no problems with him.
Right.
I think it's something that's done to get people's attention, to draw their attention to the show, because he didn't force me for answers. He didn't try to twist anything that I said or felt. You know, he just asked me some questions, you know, and we just had a nice conversation.
Right. I did see that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's probably more of an actor.
Yeah, it's like, okay, hey, you know, let's think about it from this side. The thing is, there was so much, and at the end, yeah, anyway.
I think we're going to get there. I think we are. Okay, so let's see. So, I wanted to say, as hard as it is for me, I liked how he handled you in the interview. First off, that was a dope setting. It was really dope. I liked the whole lighting and the creepy factor. You looked really, really, really pretty.
You're very sweet.
No, you
very
didn't.
Biased.
No.
I dried out by then.
Well, whatever the case is, you looked great. But he was so, like, human with you. And, like, I'm not going to pretend like I'm a Ghost Adventure stan. I haven't seen every episode, but I've seen enough to see him interact with other people. And I was kind of taken aback by how just casual and legit he seemed with you. I was, like, kind of like, what the hell is this? I mean, I'm glad because I've had you not.
Nope, he was just so, he was very easy to be around, but he was very professional, and I was so not uncomfortable in any way.
And I like that you were, like you said at the beginning, you weren't going to BS. Like, if you didn't feel you did, and I feel like your answers were, at that point especially, very vague. Like, I'm not sure, but I think, and kind of like,
Because
yes,
so
but
much
no.
hit me. It's like whammo, and what nobody realized. And it didn't even sink into my head till we saw the episode, and Heather and I went to where they viewed it.
Mm-hmm.
The lighthouse keeper was standing behind me doing this.
The hell?
That's why, and I hadn't even realized it until the show. I was doing this. I was rubbing my neck.
I did see you. Yeah.
Trying to get his hand off me without going, dude, he won't leave me alone.
What did he want? Why was he doing that?
He wanted to go. He was done being there. He was sick and tired of the lies because people said she killed herself. She killed herself because of you.
Yes!
She,
No, she didn't.
No.
She did it because of her.
No.
Oh, we'll see. Oh, we'll see.
No.
Oh, we'll see.
You killed her. You know, he's lived with that, so to speak, for so many years, and he was done.
Yeah, I understand.
And he wanted help, and I'm like, I can't help you right now. These people have to work. And he was not a negative. He's not demonic.
Right.
He was a frustrated gentleman who wanted to not be there anymore.
You guys, you're gonna see how fucking creepy this is in a second. Okay.
And so I'm trying to talk to Zach as a professional. I'm trying to get this unseen hand off of me, and when I saw it later, I'm like, oh my gosh, I look like an idiot.
No, not at all. Well, A, it makes more sense now. Now you guys know why. But also, like, I mean, people, I freak out from neck pain, so I mean, shit happens.
It's like he was standing right behind me, and I couldn't say anything at that point, you know. And then we finished inside, and they turned their cameras off, and we're walking outside, and I'm like, I'm so glad to get out of there. And Zach's like, why? Are you okay?
That's the next question. The next question was literally how did so she takes off, right? So they're done. She takes off outside.
Yep, and he's with me.
And he bolts up after her like a
Are
son.
you okay?
Like, Mommy, what's wrong?
Yeah, he's like, are you okay? Because, you know, and I'm like, that is just really frustrating. I said, I just need out of there because he doesn't want to be here. You know, we're talking, and all of a sudden we both got shoved. And this is not recorded anywhere. All the cameras were off.
Yeah.
And he reached out and stopped me from falling on my face, like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, the hell was that? I said, he's letting us know very strongly he is not happy with the fact that I'm not going to help him. I said, I can't because you guys have a job to do. So they turned the cameras back on. So some of it was seen, but not all of it. So you don't see the lead up, me almost face planning.
Yeah, you see him like he chases after her and he asks like why her head hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And then what that was my question was how did he know that your head was? How did he know to go after?
He could tell. I was just standing there. It's like, okay, my head's gonna blow up. I need out of here.
Yeah.
It's not that I've been in really negative, bad places before, and it wasn't that. He was just so frustrated. I could feel it.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like he wanted to just.
And you know what?
scream.
When you have that sensation, like naturally, that frustration, that's what it's tension. You know what I mean? So imagine someone else's.
Exactly. So it was building inside of me how he was feeling. And so we went outside, you know, he stopped me from falling on my face and we're talking and everything. I didn't even know the cameras had come back on. So he sends Aaron back in. Hello? It's broad daylight, dude. I'm standing there with my mouth shut thinking, don't say it, don't say
She's
it.
nicer than me, I would have said something.
I'm thinking, dude, it's broad daylight and you're not going to be alone. Your cameraman's going in there with
and
you.
this is kind of your job, like, that's not your profession for how many seasons now?
Yeah, go take, I can't remember what he said, Grandpa, or what. No, I can't remember what it was, but he had him take some stuff in. And we're walking and talking, and all of a sudden he hollers out of one of the windows, dude, we got a voice.
Yeah.
And he goes, male or female? He goes, it was a guy, or, whatever it was he said. And I told him, well, I said, it's, the gentleman. He's like, well, that's what she said.
So the ghost, they had the ghost box session. Probably what you were talking about when he yelled out.
Yeah.
So he sent him in to do a ghost box session. He yells out, he hears a woman's voice saying, there's someone's coming, you need to know, and then a guy says, you'll see.
Yeah, I think that was a later time. I think he just had a male voice.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was upstairs.
So I don't know if we even got to see what that was. I don't even know if that was in the show or not.
I think it was. I don't know.
It was COVID. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was when they did their lockdown.
So this was before. So originally, he just sends Aaron in.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron gets these 3, right? So all they get is, you'll see, someone's coming, and need to know. That's all they get, need to know. And it's, you guys, if you don't know what a ghost box is, a ghost box kind of just cycles through channels, and then it pulls.
It's like white noise,
Right, and then random words come out. The concept is that they find the words on radio stations and whatever to communicate what they need
It's
to say.
the energy. It's pulling the energy.
I get really sick with ghost boxes. I have them, but so fast it makes me really sick, so I don't use them too much.
Yeah, we're very careful. We have one team that we work with, Heather and I, and when we set them up, the whole team is really very careful on how loud, how fast, any of this.
It sucks to like it. It's so bad.
Yeah, because there's 7 of us on that team, and it's like all of us are highly sensitive.
Right.
Really? Okay. Yep, have a little buddy over there. So we're cautious with that because that will drive you the short drive quickly.
Yeah. So I don't play that too much, but I do now like to have one. I've done them for when I've consulted with groups before. So basically, it just pulls out words that they want to use through channels. So they get little blips. So basically, just like someone's coming, whatever. So anyways, they take these. Someone's coming, need to know, and you'll see. And all of a sudden, it's the next segment is Zach saying, these things mean the spirits are not at rest because we need to know stuff, and then we will see what we need to know so that they're not at rest. And I'm like, tell me how a couple of ghost box messages means they're not at rest and they need you to see the what in the actual.
And someone's kind of.
Where does that jump come from?
It could be residual. Who knows?
But they don't need shit. I don't. Just the jump blew my mind.
Wait, what?
That just seemed excessive, and I wasn't sure if that was something that they did in person, they would just jump, oh, that means this, or if that's something in editing that they we got.
It could very well be because I wasn't there when they did their lockdown and stuff.
Yeah.
So there could have been 2 hours. I was just 4 to 5 hours.
Right.
They were there for a couple of days.
Right.
So who knows what they took out?
So she's being nice, and she's trying to say that there might have been more content to give them a reason to say that we didn't see.
Because there's more content to what I saw and what I told them than what you guys saw.
But I feel like if there was more content to encourage that there's something sinister, like they're trying to relate, then you should probably put that in the show. I'm just
there was not.
Well, I highly agree with that.
Because, he's sensitive in a different way. He's so highly amped. He almost reminds you of like a chihuahua.
We're going to get on this. I think I know why. I think I figured something out about this kid. I call him a kid. He's probably my age, but...
Oh, he's older than me, honey.
She is not.
He's like 42, 43.
So, I did notice that pretty early on you mentioned the natives.
Uh-huh.
And then they ended up using a pretty good chunk of the segment talking about natives.
Yes.
But then also, I've always said that even though I don't like how they conduct themselves, I do greatly appreciate how much history and background they give on every episode. I think it's fascinating. Me being native, me being from Oregon,
exactly.
I think I found it even more interesting. But was that good validation for you that they focused
That was
so much
really
on that?
cool. See, I didn't know I knew none of that.
Right.
It wasn't until I watched the show, I'm like, wow, that's really cool. And since then I talked to Jeff Davis, who is a historian.
Right.
And we had a really good conversation. And he's like, you have no idea how many levels you nailed things on. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, that's really good to hear, but it's very moving for me because as blonde as I am and as white as I am, my heart hurts for them. So it was very emotional for me. More than once, Corey and I had to stop because I wanted to cry.
Right.
I don't like the things that they went through. And that's why when we were walking, it was in the upper area where there was a lot of trees, and it's like, okay, you know, we don't know for sure. It was such a strong vibe, strong feeling. And I know that their ways were completely different than now or anybody's.
That leads me to something later too.
Yeah, it's like, unfortunately, they would do sacrifices to stop things.
Right.
We don't know, but it was a very heavy, strong feeling. It's not like they were all going down to the beach to have a party, unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't know why, from my personal experience, and I can only speak on my personal experience, and I don't know if it has to do with because I have Native in me or if it's just the way it is for people with gifts, I don't know. But personally, when I interact with the other side, the Native culture in general, Native spirits are so much stronger and more just heavy, I guess is the right word. I don't know how to
very
explain
protective. I call her grandma.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Native American who watches over me.
Right.
And if Daddy starts acting up, she makes it worse instead of helping me. I'm like, Grandma, stop. But they are very strong, but they were way more truly spiritual than white
That's what I
people.
wonder if it is. If that the connection, because one spiritual person, even though they're not physically here anymore, that soul connection is still two gifted people communicating as opposed to someone who wasn't really gifted before.
Because the white man tends to be more religious. They are, you know, they're kind of like cattle. You know, just go this way. Yeah, exactly. I go by faith. I don't go by man-made religion. Native Americans didn't go by man-made religion. They went by faith.
I say I'm spiritual, not religious.
Exactly.
Right. I go by what my soul tells me. So.
Exactly, yeah. So, you know, you can feel it. It was very heavy. It did make me sad. But there were so many different reasons. It's like I heard all these different voices when we were going down there, and I could not tell you what a single one of them was saying.
Yeah.
Because they were speaking in their own language. I couldn't decipher it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and so, you know, it's like, wow.
However, what you guys probably don't, well, I mean, some of you know, but even though we can't maybe know the words, when you get that, like she was saying, that the intent is so, you can feel the intent with every ounce of you. And so, like, it's like, you ever, like, you know, when you're like walking to a room and there was just a massive fight and it just ended as soon as you walked in, but you can feel that energy. I mean, energy is palpable no matter what it is. So
exactly.
If they're sad or if they're whatever, you're going to feel it no matter what language they're speaking in. So.
Exactly. And that's what I felt. And it was very old.
Yeah.
We're not talking 1800s. We're talking back further.
Right.
It was just, it's like, wow, I felt almost like an intruder.
Well, we absolutely are, and that's part of why I get so pissed off at this group in particular. A lot of the groups, but especially this group, because they don't seem to understand. You are. I always say it like this. Look, I've said it before. I'll probably say it a million times. I'm sitting on the couch with you. I'm minding my business. We're having a conversation. It's some fuckheads walk into my house unannounced, start waving shit in my and say, "Talk, tell me something. Tell me about your life. Why aren't you telling me something?" And I'm like, dude, I was just sitting here. I need you to be
minding my own business.
Do you think I'm going to be sitting here like, sure, let me just tell you everything you want to do, and let me just, hey, can you throw that right? No. Get out of my fucking house, dude.
Right?
No one wants that. And of course they're going to get frustrated, and of course they're going to get mad, and of course they're not going to want to entertain your tricks. Why would they? If they invited you in, if you just happened to be there and they're decided to communicate, that's one thing. But when you just invade somebody's space, and then tell them what to do in their own space, and then get worked up when they don't perform tricks for you, what do you think is going to fucking happen?
See, I had the perfect producer. Corey was awesome. He was respectful. He was kind. He was very gentle-natured. He knew I wanted through there.
Yeah.
And afterwards, like I told him flat out, I'm like, you know, I just felt like we weren't supposed to be there. And he's like, no, I got you. That's why, you know. He never told me, slow down, let's retake this or anything. He just rolled with it.
So yeah, we've kind of talked about this a little bit. This is kind of like really important. This is actually like the most important part for me. So the letter, the entire episode, they're making Mary, they make her sound like she's crazy, that she's mean, like she's evil, that her husband, so okay, you had said at some point during your interview with him, Zach, that the couple did not get along well.
Mm-hmm.
It was so fun. I haven't done an in-person interview yet, so yay. Tell me what you guys think down below. I'm curious how you guys like this and if you want more stuff like this. And until next time, I love you guys so much. Mwah.